We are recording.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the Locacacast. I don't know why I started to pronounce it like Locacacast, but whatever. Um,
Low carrot cake.
so we got carrot cake. I don't know what that is. Sounds funny though. But yeah,
We
we
got
got
chapter
a
98 on
interesting
deck.
chapter. Yeah. Before we get into the chapter discussion though, on Zach's suggestion, we're moving the comments and corrections to the beginning of the show so that we can discuss things from previous chapters before we get into the new chapter.
Yeah, sounds good
So
to me.
this month we have two comments on deck.
And then you can.
The first was Young's comment.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull that up.
I'm
What
pulling it up on
about
my screen as
Toru
well.
and the head doctor just text each other? Um, and yeah, that was a possibility we hadn't considered.
Yeah, true. Pretty funny.
Ultimately, I believe ultimately it's wrong.
Yeah,
though.
I think it's a funny way to phrase that idea. But we do see Toru just like look up suddenly, and he just knows what's going on across town. He doesn't pull out his phone and check it, you know?
Right, but he could have been checking it between or he could have like received a text and that's why he stopped listening to his music
Potentially.
during that scene. But ultimately, we know that's wrong because of what will be revealed in this chapter.
Can you hear that? My
I
cat
heard
is
something.
meowing for food in the background. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Speaking of which, oh, my cat was meowing because he wanted to be let in, but he's not there anymore. So I guess he just won't be coming in then.
We're just being
Um,
unfortunately inconsiderate owners. Rest in peace. Sorry,
yeah,
Bruiser.
yeah.
Not today.
Um, but yeah. So good idea, Young. That was an obvious answer that we overlooked, unfortunately. But ultimately, I guess it's incorrect, as we'll see when we go into the chapter discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but on to the next comment that we had from Overlookers. This one has more to discuss, I think.
Oh yeah, this is a
Um,
meaty comment.
yeah, yeah. So Overlookers said, Jobin is dying, and having no regrets while also having fulfilled your debt to society could make you immune to karmic misfortune. If there was ever a time for Kato to reappear in the story, it is now, if not next chapter, then by chapter 100, to heal Jobin in a parallel and antithesis of Holly's appearance in chapter 92. The White Queen walks as the Black Queen marches on.
Hmm.
So let's break it down. What do you think about like each individual point in this comment? Because there were like a couple.
So, the first point about Kato's character, like one of the things that defines her that we have seen is that like even though she did her how long was it in prison? She had like a 15-year bit. She did a 15-year stretch in
I
prison
think
or
it
12
was. I
years.
think it was probably 15 years. Yeah.
Something like that. It was a double digit number. Um but she does
Jobin was
her
Jobin was uh Jobin was a young boy when she went in, and
he's like in
now
his
he's like
30s
30
now.
or something.
Yeah. Um da 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 da. Sorry, I got sort of blown off track. Oh, right. So Kato has this aspect to her of like, she genuinely doesn't believe she was guilty, but served her time anyway because like that was just the best way forward and out of the situation. Like, I don't know, she has a stand. She theoretically could have fucking tried to break out of prison, but her character is like, I'm going to commit the atrocities and then I'm going to like pay my debts and fucking do the thing so I'm untouchable, you know? Like, what are you gonna say to me? I killed somebody, but I fucking fulfilled my debt to society, and I had good reasons for doing it in the first place. So she, in her own mind, is not a villain and is not guilty of things. So I think that, like, if karma is based on, like, how you feel about the things you've done, and not by, like, a literal adding up of all the good versus evil things you have done. Like, if the universe is checking your, like, internal feelings on your own karma versus, like, the actual real world stats of what you did, then your feelings can influence possibly
It's
how much damage you
it
take.
reminds me of a quote. It reminds me of a quote from part 7, where Valentine says, "My thoughts and actions are unclouded; they are those of justice."
They're utterly pure. They're all those of justice. Which I agree with
Right.
completely.
But that point, I believe, was more in reference to we were wondering about why Mamazuku wasn't suffering as much damage
Mm-hmm.
as Josuke. And yeah, it actually, I believe, like, if you don't feel like you're doing anything wrong,
Mm-hmm.
then you take less damage.
And Mamazuku, as we have seen, is a character who is, like, immune to societal norms. Like, maybe not so much recently, but when we are introduced to Mamazuku, he, like, hijacks a bus and is giving Josuke all these, like, weird orders and is like, we have to do what I say exactly, to the letter, or we're gonna die. But, like, you know, he was already, like, hijacking buses and shit, and he told Josuke, like, go back there and break everyone's phone so there's no photos of us. Like, he's really, like, from his perspective, these things are extremely natural to do. They're just what needs to be done in order to get out of the situation. They're not necessarily, like, friendly, nice things to do to people, but he doesn't view them as bad, so I don't think he's taking, like, karma hits for that. He's just doing what is necessary.
And if we accept this explanation of why some people take more damage than others from the Stan's attacks,
Mm-hmm.
then I think we need to look at Jobin's character
Oh, yeah.
and what he recently did that and obviously spoilers for earlier chapters. He killed Norisuke,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm guessing that even though he feels it was necessary, he still feels guilty about it,
Extremely.
and that's why he's taking so much damage from the head doctor's stand.
Yeah, because think about this. You have to be really guilty in order to get one-shotted like that. Like, the other guy that Mamazuku was in prison with, he had real bad karma. He had done some shit. You know, like he slayed a whole bus full of kids or something with a kitchen knife. And so that guy dies in one hit. He gets a single calamity happen to him, and it one hit KOs him. Jobin must have a similar amount of bad karma for him to also get one-shotted like that. Just like the absolute worst thing happened on the first try, just like the other murderer guy.
Except we've seen him kill 3 times on panel, right?
And he might kill again anytime.
He's
still
seen him
out there.
Kill Ojiro.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him kill Ojiro. We've seen him kill Makarin, and we've seen him kill his dad.
Mm-hmm.
But only his dad was the one that he
felt any remorse for.
Any remorse for. Speaking of which, happy Father's Day, by the way.
I actually forgot.
The timing on this.
I actually forgot Father's Day was today because we went out and did our family dinner yesterday. But goddamn, what a timely.
Was it today or was it yesterday? I think it was actually yesterday.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, because it was Sunday. But whatever, it's Father's Day weekend.
But still, we're not gonna get much better timing than this.
Yeah. Oh boy. So, if there was ever a time for Kato to reappear in the story, it is now. I agree. In the arc that we are in
now is
where it's like I compare it to not sleeping slaves. Silver Chariot Requiem. A very confusing, very like panicked fight right before the final battle, where everyone's united against a common enemy who's fucking them all up by making things confusing. And the thing about that is, at the end of that, Bruno just figures out like a way to turn that off because of like something about him that's different as a person from the other people, i.e., he's not really connected to his body. So it's like they didn't like just fight the thing and win. They like solved the puzzle and won because one of them was imbued with the ability to solve the puzzle. So I think Kato, like by her very nature,
But
is gonna
but
have an
here's
easy
my
time against this guy.
here's
She doesn't think she's a villain.
here's my question though.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my question though. Do you think she'll be coming back before, like during this arc, or immediately after? Because you said earlier that Jobin's injury was to sideline him for this arc.
Oh
So
yes.
if he's not taking an active role in the arc, then I think she might come back right after Josuke and Mamazuku finish off the head doctor.
Mm-hmm. Well, potentially. Um, I think she should come back while the head doctor is here, so that we can get a little explanation. We can get a little like, yeah, she's a murderer and she went to prison, but the karma shit doesn't work on her. Because otherwise, then it's just like head doctor, and then Kato as final boss. You know, like you're just going through the stages. I would kind of like her to show up during the everyone's trying to fight the head doctor and not lose. But so what do we think about? No, I can't. I can't skip around like that. We're still on comments.
Give me a second.
But I do like the idea of she heals Jobin in a parallel antithesis of Holly's appearance in Chapter 92. That's pretty great because then it's like you have the parallel between Josuke and Jobin. Josuke is fighting to save his mom. Jobin is fighting like with the backing of his mom. Like that's somebody on his team that he can use to his advantage. Whereas Holly is like total liability, like a person, just like a vegetable. Fucking, the quest is made significantly harder because there are too many people and not enough fruits. But then she helps him in the hospital at one time. Anyway, yeah, I want to see the parallel mom relationships.
Yeah. Do you think we have anything else to discuss on this comment or?
Oh, you just roboted out real hard. But no, I think we've got it. I think good comments all around. What about Toru and the HD just text each other? And then this interesting Kato comment.
Yeah.
But I feel like
Good comments.
I feel much the same about this Kato comment that I do about the Kyo Nijimura comment or comments, where people are like, they make a really good point. They say something like, "Dude, this next chapter, what we need somebody to save Yasuo. So who's the Jotaro equivalent in this universe to save the Koichi? It's gonna be Kyo. She's gonna show up. She's gonna be here. She's gonna be relevant." I feel the same way about this that I do about that.
Pretty much. Yeah, anytime that somebody hasn't been in the story for a while and has a reason to come back, or it's like, uh, you know, yeah, sure, I'd love to see it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah. Like, good idea. Like, if you were writing JoJo and you made that happen, I wouldn't be mad. I'd be like, oh, sick, that's what happens? Great. But, like, also, there's a reason Araki writes JoJo and not you. Enough said, basically.
He's got a reason for everything.
He's
It
got
will
a
all be
reason
made
for everything.
clear eventually.
This is true.
It,
Araki has never steered me wrong yet. You know? I've never watched a JoJo part all the way through and at the end been like, well, that was a waste of time.
there have been some bumpy moments, to be sure.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
There have been some things to make us ask, Araki, why? Or Araki, did you forget something? But
Araki, did you
all in
forget your
all,
keys when you tried to leave the house this morning?
it's been nothing but good times on this crazy, noisy, bizarre adventure.
Mm-hmm. There's something about JoJo. Like, I don't know what it is. Different from other stories. But it has captured me forever. I will keep reading JoJo until the end of time. Until Araki dies or I die. Or until the series ends. But it really is like my favorite, like, work of fiction. It's dope. Like, in what other story are you gonna get fucking poisonous Amazon rainforest frogs falling from the sky as Jolene unravels her body to make string out of it to protect herself? That's pretty sick. And it's not just sick because it has weird stuff in it. It's because it constantly, like, throws in new weird stuff to the story. And it always makes sense. Like, in its own way. Like, it always... Like, it has its own internal set of logic that, like, totally makes sense for it. I like JoJo like that. It runs on its own fucking logic. Anyways, would you like to start the
Good
chapter
comments.
discussion?
Good comments, you two.
Mm-hmm.
We would like to see more comments like that in the future.
Yeah, when I was bitching about nobody's commenting, please leave at least one comment. This is what I wanted to see. Some sort of discussion type comments. Thank you very much.
Thought-provoking comments. Um, but before we get into the chapter discussion, we had like one more loose end
Mm-hmm.
from the last episode, where you gave me some required listening, and that
Oh.
was Vitamin C by Ken.
Mm-hmm.
And don't play it. Don't play it
I won't.
because we don't want to get copyrighted on this.
I actually think that
But
when I played it on the episode last week, I think I just like absent-mindedly clicked on it. Like I didn't even remember that because it's playing on my computer, it will be captured. I was just like, no, I'm only capturing our voices. That was just a dumbass move. But yeah, no, I'm not clicking play on anything. No noises.
were you under the effects of fun? It was like your hand didn't know what it was doing.
Yeah, I looked on the back and there was a giant power button symbol, and I went, "Oh shit!" And then I started clawing my own eyes out.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I just realized Fun is the surface of part 8.
Oh yeah, shit. Actually, I guess so. Or no, Fun is the Yellow Temperance of Part 8. Or no, Lovers, Steely Dan.
Well, either one. They have similar abilities.
True.
Actually, I think Lovers is different. Lovers is the pain transference.
Okay, well then what's the one where he makes the duplicate Kakyoin? Yellow Temperance?
That
Rubber
was Yellow
Soul?
Temperance.
Yeah, okay, Rubber Soul guy. Indeed.
But how is it Yellow Temperance though?
Because it's a big blob of yellow jello that morphs into Kakyoin. But other than that,
It's pretty much exactly surface, except you have to be above them instead of they have to touch your stand. But
wait,
anyway,
Surface is the fucking one where he creates Wooden Josuke, right? And he punches Wooden Josuke, and Wooden
yeah,
Josuke says, "You okay, retard? I am wood, stupid."
yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Yeah, so Yellow Temperance
Um,
is like Surface. I don't know.
okay,
I think it is, at least.
we're getting off topic. I
Yeah.
had required listening, and I have done the required listening, and I recommend that if you have not done the required listening, listener, you should do the required listening.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Vitamin C by Can. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly my cup of tea.
Well,
I don't care much for the vocal style. Um, the drums are pretty sick.
Yeah.
Um, but all in all, I would say I only give it 2 greasy handprints out of 5.
Dang. I would give it, Oh, did I send you the version that was, like, with the Tamodamaki chapters? The Damotamaki chapters? It's like
I'll do
the...
that after this.
Oh, what'd you say? Sorry, you cut. weirdly.
I said I don't think you did, but I'll watch that after this.
That's pretty cool as well, just because it's like the moving manga panels and like that shit goes down in sync to music. I really like that. Um, but yeah, I like the song a lot. I feel like it's a cool, underappreciated piece of rock. And also, I just like the strum patterns. I like the chords. Fucking, yeah, Can by Vitamin C. Or Vitamin C by Can. I don't even know why I recommended that song now. What caused me to bring that up in the first place last episode?
I think we were talking about about the vitamin C arc.
Yeah, true. Well, that was kind of
I
a
don't
dead
remember
end.
in what context we were talking about the vitamin C arc, but you know,
You're
I don't remember the
losing, you're
exact context.
losing, you're losing, you're losing your train of thought. Get back on topic.
I think we've exhausted the topic. Hey, chapter 98.
Woo! Engage the enemy. Endless Calamity Part 4. This chapter was fucking great. Here's the thing about the head doctor. I'm gonna go ahead and say right now that the monocle is important. Like that item is like not just a piece of clothing. Like something about the monocle. Because right here, on page. By the way, when this chapter starts and you see the head doctor walking around like a weird zombie guy, Mamazuku's looking at him, and then he walks into that pillar and then just like swooshes onto it, and then suddenly he's in the reflection of the pillar on the other side on the escalator. Like his ability keeps
And
getting
he's
more
the
powerful.
stand.
Yeah.
And he's the stand when he's on the pillar.
Well, hang on. He's always the stand.
But he's visibly the stand when he's merged with the pillar. His actual visual design changes from the head doctor to the stand. Didn't you notice this?
Yes, where he has like the
On-
mask of the stand on, but not on this first pillar one, I don't think.
Yeah.
Anyways, the important thing, apparently he can fucking teleport.
Even when he first goes onto the pillar. Hold on. Is it maybe I'm not looking at the right pillar.
This is fucking
Did he
like
go onto a
page
pillar
2
before?
of the chapter.
Oh, yeah, not that one. But the next time when he goes into the wall.
Yeah,
That's,
then he's wearing the mask of the face, the stand. So
the
dude,
mask of the face of the stand.
the mask of the face of the stand of the man who's at the Higashikata household dancing around.
The rise of the edge of the end of,
Of the Tomb Raider.
I don't know.
The shadow of the legend of the rise of the fall of the end of the beginning of the Tomb Raider. But dude, fucking this chapter was so exciting. Like I was interested in this Mamazuku shit. That's great. But like the fact that we get to Josuke so quickly, and it was really cool. Like I can't formulate any sentences or words. But
What are words?
he gets to Josuke, and he's like, Josuke, what are you doing just sitting there? And I went on 4chan after this chapter came out, because I just wanted to see what the chapter discussion threads were like.
I think you literally said in a prior chapter that you thought Mamazuku was going to come in and be like, Josuke, why are you here?
Yeah. Josuke, what are you doing? And he was just going to be confused.
But he wasn't confused. He was actually calm, collected, and had a plan. We don't know what the plan is yet, but he has a plan.
Indeed. But I went on 4chan because I wanted to see what the discussion thread was like. Last time I went there, I got some spicy memes. So, you know, it's a decent type of situation. I don't ever go on their website, but I wanted to see what the chapter discussion thread was like for 98. And there were some people that were like, you know, they were really excited about the chapter, and there were a few people who were like, we waited a month for this shit, like, who really were disappointed and were not happy. Um, but the funniest thing that I saw, my favorite thing from reading that thread was right here when Mamazuku bursts into the room. He- Somebody put like this in the text bubble. He's saying, "Josuke, what are you doing just sitting there? You're just sitting in some chair? Joshu's about to fight Toru and save Yasuo. Looks like you fucking lost your girlfriend, you virgin idiot. You're just sitting in this fucking chair? You're letting Joshu take your girl." It's excellent.
Hold on. You roboted out a bit.
Oh. Well, the point is, Mamazuku comes in and is like, "No." Mamazuku comes in and is like, "Josuke, what the fuck are you doing just sitting in this chair? Toru is fighting Joshu back at your house and Joshu's gonna win. Joshu's stealing your girl, Josuke. You're just sitting here passing the time?" And then I saw another meme that was like,
Is the you got to send me that because that's some good shit.
that is good
Use that for the
content.
outro.
I actually wish that I had screenshotted it instead of just trying to paraphrase. But I have another thing that I want to show you. This is also from the memeness. This is from that thread as well. I'm going to post it. I really like that this is the dynamic at this point in the story. I'm going to pull this graphic up for the viewers. Yeah, rest in peace. If only Josuke listened. Because you remember, this is all still happening because of, because they fucking had a disagreement on where the branch probably is. Josuke was like, "I don't believe you, Yasuo. There's no way it's at the house."
If we can get back on track.
Oh, yes.
You mentioned you thought the monocle was going to be important.
Yes.
I don't really think so, because we see it as like part of like it's like there was a panel that showed where the head doctor was like halfway between his human face and the stand face.
Right, right. And the monocle has the sun thing around it. Like Toru's design.
I think
Toru's shirt.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's actually significant or if that's just like a visual trick.
I don't know either. But, yeah, I found it. It's on page fucking, page 28. 28 as according to the image count. I don't know about actual page 28. But you know what's interesting? Look at the head doctor's hands. His knuckles. He has, well, obviously he is a stand, but he has little, like, stand knuckles, you know? Like little separated knuckle bits.
It looks like the little what was it? Purple haze. Looks like the
Yeah,
little
purple haze
knuckle.
capsules. Exactamundo. But yeah, so in this one panel where he's halfway between human and robot, and he has the monocle on, and it has a sun design, but he only has the one monocle. So I'm feeling like, let me go back to when this head doctor gives that fucking speech, and he's like really a real person for realsies. Yeah, this is it. Alright, so the head doctor, when he walks out on stage and talks to those fucking people, he's not wearing the monocle. He's wearing no monocles. He's wearing exactly 0 monocles. Not a monocle in sight. I'm paging through. Yep. I'm fucking right here. How do I, yeah. Alright, check it. So, you know how there has to be probably a real head doctor somewhere. Because, you know, you can't have him give a speech to an auditorium full of people and them not be able to see him because he's a stand, you know? There has to be a real head doctor somewhere.
I mean, not necessarily. There are stands that people can see. that like normal people who don't have stands can see.
Well, why? That sounds like bullshit. Okay.
Yes, it does.
I mean, if your stand controls a
But you
physical
believe
object.
it.
Yeah, yes, I do. Anyway, look, he's not wearing any monocles. Not at all. So the mere fact.
Huh. He's kind of got the vague shape of a monocle though.
Yeah,
He's on the wrong
true.
side.
Like he wears it so much that his fucking face has been swapped around. So, anyways, there must be something to that monocle. Like, I don't want to go too far in speculating just yet because I could be wrong. But part of me wants to say that there is some sort of like equipment effect. Like maybe wearing the monocle allows one to be possessed and turned into a stand and teleported all around and walk into pillars. I don't know. Maybe it's responsible for one of the many abilities we have been seeing. But I don't know.
You know what?
Maybe the monocle allows him to
Actually,
switch
that makes
between.
sense because there's a because the if you'll recall, the bound stands are the ones that people can see.
Mm-hmm.
So if the true shape of the stand is the monocle, and its ability is to turn whoever wears it into the body of the stand and let them be controlled by the actual user. Um, and we both think it's Toru right now, right?
Oh,
Like this is
100%.
totally 100%.
I mean, he's on the other
Like
side of
like the
town
head
and he can see things that are going on, like his stand is over there. So, yeah. I mean, what else is there going to be?
And Mamazuku mentions that it's a long range attack stand.
Mm-hmm.
And if it were a long range attack stand, there would be no reason for the head doctor, if he were the stand user, to actually be there.
Yeah. You could just fucking engage calamities from a distance. But I guess he can't actually do that. You have to at least see him or think about him.
But here's the problem, though. He's not wearing the monocle in this shot, so he's not being controlled by Toru right now?
Yeah, that makes sense. He's just giving a speech to the hospital people. Like, these are his own motivations. This doesn't require him to be controlled. I don't know.
All right.
Fair enough. I literally don't know. I'm just guessing. But,
could be. I don't know. We don't know. Do I look like a Iraqi to you?
no. You know what? In fact, you don't. So, man, oh man. How do you feel about the motherfucking, de-do-do-do-de-da-da-da?
De-do-do-do-da-da-da is all I want to say to you.
All I want to say to Iraqi is stop stalling.
I mean, what is that? That's the name of the insect is de do 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 da da da.
Yep.
He has such like he picks like such strange like names, such strangely named musical references for all the rock animals.
Yeah, he picks either a really strange onomatopoeia type sounding word, or he just names them absolutely nothing at all. The hair clip of the King Dynasty.
I keep hoping that the hair clip is going to be revealed to be named Raspberry Beret.
Oh man, that would be so great. I would love that. But then that won't fit with the.
I don't think it'll get a name because it's such a minor part of like one flashback and it's already been destroyed. So
Yeah. What was the point of that flashback other than making us feel for Yasuo more? Actually, I guess that's point.
What?
That's point enough.
Here's how it's gonna be. If that hair clip doesn't have an actual name by the end of the part, I'm just gonna assume it's called Raspberry Beret.
You know what? I like your thinking. Because what's the harm in doing that? Who's stopping you? Nobody.
Not Iraqi. Otherwise, he would have named it something else.
Certainly. Certainly would have. Um, so... Damn, where was I going? I was gonna say something. Oh, right, so do-do-do-do-da-da-da. I talked to my mom about Jojolion. I don't know why. I don't know how this started. Just one day I was like, okay, so there's this guy who wakes up and he doesn't know who he is, and he has 4 balls, and he's actually a fusion of these 2 other guys. She was like,
It's this
what?
guy named Jojo who goes on a bizarre adventure, right?
So there's this guy.
You didn't start her at the beginning.
So in the
You're like,
1960s, there were these guys called the Beatles, and they wrote a song called "Get Back," and that song goes, "Jojo was a man." Blah, 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 blah.
No. Jojo was named after the restaurant. Remember?
It was named,
Jonathan's
Jonathan's.
or whatever?
Yeah, true. Well, dude, I'm sure as soon as Araki remembered that there's a song he likes that says JoJo in it, he was like, "Oh, perfect. I'll use that as what Joseph's listening to at the end of the part." But yeah, fucking, I was telling my mom about Jojolion, and I was telling her about all the stuff with Kira and Josephumi in the past trying to save Holly, because that stuff is like some of the best stuff in the part. Like just emotional storytelling and their little like branch heist. That's awesome. Love all that. And I read the new chapter because the day before I was like, new chapter comes out once a month. It's almost here. And then we were in the car and she was like, "Oh, hey, how was the JoJo?" And I was like, "Good, fine." She was like, "What does that mean? Why do you say it like that?" And I was like, "Well, we were getting to the final boss. Like the heroes are like going up to the castle, or rather the villain is going to their castle, metaphorically. And it's time for the final showdown. And then the villain just takes like a minion out of his pocket and he's like, "Fight this for a while. See you later." And that's how I described it.
This reminds me of like have you seen that meme of like, or that comic where it's like it's 2 panels, right? And the first panel is like a guy sitting and playing a video game, and this girl walks in and she's like, "You must really like that. You've been playing that video game all day. You must really like it." And the guy just looks up at her like so tired.
I don't know that I have seen this comic, but I'm imagining it, and it's really funny.
Is this the state of JoJo right now for you?
Yeah, I think. Where I'm just fucking, like, I'm just waiting all month for this shit, and then it comes out, and I just, like, my health gets markedly worse, my hair starts falling out. I look visually disturbed. I am a troubled man. But yeah, it really is like the final boss just took a bug out of his pocket and was like, "Fight this for a few chapters. See you in a couple months." I'm not extremely jazzed about that. I hope we take care of this fucking bug quickly. In fact, I hope this...
I think there's precedent for this before. Haven't we gotten things like this before, where the final boss like basically pulls out a minion and says, "Here, fight this."
Yeah, Vanilla Ice.
Before you fight me. Yeah, Vanilla Ice. Those 3 zombies in part 1.
Yeah. I don't know. Cars kind of sends his buddies to get killed before he does.
Well, there was also Wired Beck, I believe.
Wired Beck. Hey, but literally...
was the name of that...
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to pause.
The name of that zombie that well, except Wired Beck was a joke.
Yeah, he was. He literally was. Lisa
he got punked instantly.
Yeah, Lisa just literally waved her scarf around in the air, and Wired Beck was like, "Hey, where are you guys going? Aren't you gonna fight me?" And Joseph goes up to him like, "Dude, you are dead. You already got killed like a full minute ago, and you don't even realize it. I feel bad for you."
Joseph literally hit him with the "Omae wa mo shinderu."
Yeah, basically. Fucking, you're out of time completely, buddy. But literally, I want a Wired Beck type situation for this, where the reason that they have this enemy guy show up and kill him instantly is to like job him against the main characters and convince the audience that the main characters are powerful and badass. So yeah, I want them to figure out the insect like real fast and kill it within like one chapter. That would be awesome. Like Milagro Man gets introduced, gets defeated. That's all we need.
I thought what didn't Milagro Man have multiple chapters?
Yeah, two. That's what I was. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
It literally was a two-parter. Like there wasn't that much really that went down. He got cursed. Went around.
I thought it was longer than that.
Hella curse.
Maybe it was just more. Maybe it was just more impactful. So I remember it being longer.
Yeah. Well, it's more impactful because he doesn't cut away from Joshu. It's like just a solely Joshu story. I like it. I really like the part at the end where he's making fun of the kids who are in the band who just make shitty knockoffs of better music. And they're on a giant, like, tour bus on the advertisement on the side. And he's like, those guys only make crappy music that's a ripoff of better music. And then he thinks to himself and he's like, but even if it's something like that, even if it's just a little thing, I have talent, right? I'm special, right? I'm cool, right? And then you see him realize in that moment, like, oh, I kind of am a piece of shit. And it's great. That's character development, baby. And now, how far we have come. Let me tell you, the thing that I was most excited for in this chapter was Joshu showing up with the fruit. Literally, like, that was the most exciting thing in this chapter. I loved all the great shots of Josuke in the chair, telling everybody about the cool plan he's got, maybe. But, legit, the fucking, Joshu shows up with the fruit, and I kind of lost my mind a little bit.
I feel like we called this. I definitely feel like we called this.
Yeah, 100%. And also, I feel like I'm actually even more right than the story is letting me know right now. I think in the next chapter it's going to reveal some other shit that I guessed about was correct. Because think about this. Joshu showing up outside with Yasuo means that he must have had to walk by Jobin's bleeding body, pick up the fruit, not heal him, and then just keep walking to go outside to heal Yasuo instead. So skipping his brother and his other brother, or no, skipping his brother Jobin and his nephew Tsurugi, just going straight to Yasuo, making a beeline with those fruits. And that seems kind of nonsensical. Why would he do that? But here's the thing. I don't think he did that. Do you remember when we first saw the plant and there were 4 fruits and now there's only 2? And I've been saying, hey, Joshu has those in his pocket. Like, it fell right near him. Everyone was looking away for a second, and then, like, now 2 fruits are missing. Someone pick those up.
He's holding the pot with the fruits. He's holding the pot with the branch in the panel you're talking about.
Yeah. But fucking, I guarantee you those are in his pocket or in somewhere else for safekeeping. Because I don't think he literally did walk past and decide not to heal Jobin and Tsurugi. I'm pretty sure he fed them the fucking fruit that he had in his pocket.
The irony of this is Joshu pretty much fucked everyone over because he brought the branch outside.
Yeah. That's not advisable, I would say. But like at this point, I think, okay, so, you know, we only have so many characters in Jojolion, and we are also doing a thing where our characters are in different places. Like we have an A story and a B story. So at this point, I don't think Josuke and Mamazuku are gonna come back to the estate while this situation is going on. You know, like they are sort of at the hospital, locked in, fighting the head doctor. They're not gonna like be able to show up back here and participate. If they do show up back here, it'll be after the battle is over. They're too far away. So, oh damn, what was I leading into with that? I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, so I don't think Josuke and Mamazuku are going to add themselves to this situation, you know, at the Higashikata household. I think we're, like, at capacity. We're all situationed out. But maybe not. There might be room for one more. Oh, and then this person shows up. But, like, at this point in the story, we have spent so many of our characters. Like, everyone's in use. Everyone's already doing something. Who do we have left? Who could possibly show up? Just like, oh shit, and now this person's here. It just kicked into high gear. Kyo Nijimura or Kato could both make an appearance, and it would be hype as shit, and we would be like, oh, so it makes sense she wasn't in the story up to now. It was based all along. He was intending to do this. You know, if either one of them show up, then their absence makes sense. Yeah, then this is the world where everything is based. But, like, for them to show up and even have the tiniest amount of reason why they were not the focus up to this point, why they were on the sidelines out of sight, then it's completely fine. If he is just like, hey, this person's here now, and doesn't, like, mention any reason why they were fucking laying low for the past several months, chapters, then it'll be weird. But literally, all he has to do is give us, like, a flimsy reason.
When was the last time we actually saw Kato? I don't even remember.
I will look it up, because I can't just tab through the manga to find it. I gotta look it up.
Because I kind of want to know where she is right now. Like, I don't think she's at the Higashikata house. I think she's staying somewhere else.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you. Wow, she last appeared in Dolomite's Blue Lagoon. I'm gonna sneeze again. Oh, sorry. Okay, so Blue Lagoon. Kato later appears painting her nails while sunbathing in Norisuke's hammock and drinking his stash of champagne krug, much to his surprise. He commands her to leave immediately, while she states calmly that half of the house and Norisuke's assets still belong to her. After Norisuke storms off, Kato calls Jobin on her phone, telling him that she suspects Norisuke is plotting something. She also informs Jobin of Josuke's interloping, correctly assuming that he's also working against them. Okay. So last time we saw her was in Blue Lagoon.
That is a long time to not be in the story at all.
Hey, but you know what? It's actually a longer time even than Kyo. She was last showed in the story on the ground in the poor Tom fight. Oh, but dude, fucking, I wonder how long it's been since her last, like, dialogue appearance, Kyo Nijimura.
That was, I think it was actually the Born This Way arc.
I'm pretty sure it was, dude. I mean, I don't know if any other time she has spoken. I'm gonna look up. Kyo Nijimura. Okay. Let's see. Wow. Josuke is coerced into taking a family photo. Kyo appears and attempts to remove his hat, causing Josuke to feel threatened, and asks who she is. Norisuke introduces her as the family's housekeeper, shows Josuke around the house. Later, as she helps Yasuo Hirose exit the premises, she relays a message from her employer that Yasuo is not allowed near the Higashikata house instead. Seeing that Josuke has investigated her family tree and taking him for an enemy, Kyo unleashes her stand, Born This Way, on Josuke. Josuke escapes Born This Way and surprises Kyo standing near the hospital. Josuke defeats her. Yeah, Kyo subsequently leads Josuke to the Walleyes and shows him that he's a fusion of her brother Yoshikage and another person. For the rest of the story, Kyo takes the back seat and only makes minor appearances in the background. And then the last section is called Hato's Boyfriend. When Hato brings her boyfriend Tamaki Damo home, Kyo is the first to be liquefied by vitamin C. She spends the rest of the fight in a liquefied state. They don't even reference her appearance in the Poor Tom arc. where she's just
I feel like
laying
that
on the floor.
liquefaction might. I feel like the liquefaction might as well have been permanent, because
Yeah, I
damn.
mean, you could have had her just get killed right now. I mean, not right now, but like that's what I thought. Like when I first saw just the hat on the wall and her like melted, I was like, "Oh no, Kyo Nijimura was supposed to come back into the story and just be like a shocking death, you know?" But no, she's fine. Very weird. Hey, how do you feel about all the you know how Araki said like I purposefully made Jojolion more erotic than the other parts. It just has like all this stuff in it. Like you know, like Daya trying to seduce him and like his four balls and stuff. I feel like that's strange in places. Like here, like even in there's no like hold on.
I don't know. How do you mean?
Like this.
Exactly.
Even when there's no like sexual energy, he still draws the characters very like this. Like that's brother and sister. What are you doing? You know,
Well, I mean,
half
have you
brother.
ever seen anime? Have you ever seen anime?
No, yeah, true. But I mean, like, oh, I don't know. He just has a different sensibility drawing things for Jojolion. Anyways, so the point is, Joshu, when he showed up with the fruit, I had like an absolute freak out. Like this has not happened to me before. Like normally when I read manga, I'm like, okay, okay. Oh, that's really fucking cool. Like those are my reactions. When Joshu showed up with the fruit, like I saw him this first panel where he's crying and he's like everything's gotten so fucked up. This panel made me so hype. I just went like, yes! 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 Yes, 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 yes. Yes. For like a really long time. For like 5 to 8 minutes. I just kept saying yes emphatically. And I wasn't even like, this is funny, I'm going to keep doing it. Because I was in my room by myself. I just had that amount of emotions to get out. And I didn't have any drafting, so I just kept saying the same thing. But literally, like, I have been waiting for Joshu to pick up the fruit and heal Yasuo and become, like, an awesome character that we can all root for. And it fucking happened! And I popped off. I was so hype. My brain just broke. I just sat there screaming yes over and over again. I just couldn't handle it. That was the first time I have had, like, complete hype overflow.
I feel like Joshu is being redeemed
Mm-hmm.
so that he can be killed off.
Well, if that happens, that will be sad, but depending on his death dialogue, it will be also very sweet and beautiful and very cool and very good.
And I think I know who's going to kill him off. I think Kato might make a reappearance and kill Joshu for the fruit so that she can heal her son.
Hmm. Kill her son for the fruit so that she can heal her son. Makes sense. Right. But you know, he is like the youngest and shittiest son. When she went to prison, he was just a little fucking toddler. Man, so
All I can say is I hope Joshu's got one more fight in him.
oh yeah, I mean, I feel like he hasn't really had a decent fight.
I want to see Nut King Call one more time.
Yeah. I want to see Nut King Call a few more times. I don't want this to be like Joshu becomes awesome leading up to his death. I hope he like becomes a Joe Bro in his own right by the end of this part. He might die.
No, wait a minute. Okay, here's the usual pattern. Right before a character dies, they get a backstory drop. So it's gonna go, Joshu gets redeemed, Joshu gets his backstory drop as he's dying.
Hmm. Maybe.
So we get to see why he's such a piece of shit.
Yeah. Um. How many fights has he even had so far? I mean, he has Shakedown Road, where he uses Nut King Call for the first time on like a dude's hand. He puts his hand on backwards. And then he has Milagro Man, where he uses it to trick the guy into taking the curse back. But that's not even a fight. That's just like a party trick. He just does like a maneuver with it. So he's had one fight.
Side characters don't actually get that many fights on this part, I notice.
No, it's all Josuke all the time. Except when it's not, and then it is. Like the Doctor Wu fight. I feel like I'm kind of, I mean, I like the finish of that fight, but I feel like I'm kind of disappointed that just Josuke just showed up and saved them and the fight's over. You know? Like it's not even like Blue Hawaii
Yeah,
where it makes sense for Yasuo to have been following Josuke.
because that was Mitsuba's first fight, so it kind of undermines her whole like development for the established character to come along and finish the fight for her.
Yeah. And also, it's not like he couldn't think of a way to finish it. They finish it several times, and then Wutomaki just comes back, you know? You could have had any of those be the. You could have written up a reason for why he couldn't come back from that one, and then it would have been finished there. But I don't know. Araki always likes to have like 3 or 4 extra bends in the road, you know? It's not so straightforward. 3 or 4 layers of twist. Like, you think the finish of the fight is coming up. No, we still have a few more chapters to go. You don't fucking know anything. You don't know what's going on. It's my story, only I know. But what I do know is that I don't want to be fighting this bug thing for much longer. What do we think is the deal with this bug thing? Are those little things that are coming out of it like its
I don't know. It
arms?
kind of
Or is
looked like
that
it
the
was.
whole
It kind of
bug?
looked like it was. It kind of looked like it was going into the floor, like it was merging through the floor and going under it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what this bug does other than build things. It looked like it built a crane and like just sort of launched one of those popsicle sticks at him.
But this is what's interesting about the crane. The crane attacking Josuke must run on calamity power somehow. Because, like, he puts this thing down and it builds itself. This little bug with the little arms builds it. And then it's fully created. And then it does this little thing where it winches the other popsicle sticks up. You know? It does like a crane thing. It goes ween, 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 and it like raises it up. And then, all of a sudden, the whole thing falls apart. Like, are you looking at the page I'm looking at? This is the one where it's the building the crane, page 36, 37. So the crane is like built, and it has completely built itself, and then it falls apart, and then it attacks Josuke. You go to the next screen, and suddenly it has now not fallen apart. It is perfectly back together. And it's swinging the thing at Josuke. So I don't know if the bug literally allowed it to fall apart and then put it back together with the right momentum to still swing the thing. But to me, that seems like a calamity attack. Like you build a little thing and it breaks in such a way that sends a piece flying at you violently. Like, I don't know how a bunch of popsicle sticks falling over could be like a really dangerous, deadly attack unless the calamity thing is affecting it, right? I don't know. But I feel like, how is the
Well, yeah,
popsicle sticks falling over attacking you?
the stand amplifies the damage done by the projectile.
Yeah, true. But just like getting a ridiculous coincidence like that to occur in the first place. Like Jobin getting shot with the air canister thing.
I don't know, man. I don't question it.
I
I know
like
better.
I like that Josuke is using the bomb bubbles more these days. Like when he does the big aura rush against the popsicle sticks. Like the bubbles that touch them, they all like explode a little bit. It's pretty cool. I like the exploding bubbles. Hmm.
Speaking of which, can we just talk about hold on, let me find the exchange between between Rai and Josuke, where Rai's like an all-out attack of a power called Disaster will be coming for you, and then Josuke is just like, I have soap bubbles.
Yeah, that's kind of so great. I don't um I don't know what he means by that. Like,
I just find it kind of funny because like it's kind of like a summary of JoJo in general. It's like, oh man, our enemy is so overpowered and can manipulate time and space at will, and it's like we got strings.
yeah. I like that. I feel you. It's like, you know, my power is something mundane but extremely useful. I like how I have these soap bubbles. I have soft and wet that exists under heaven and earth. Supple and moist, they spin. So the bubbles spin. That's pretty cool. I didn't think about that.
Supple and moist. I would like to thank the translators for giving them the official localization name for soft and
Supple
wet
and
now.
moist. Oh my god. I mean, yeah, what else would they do? Man, this is the thing about JoJo. Every time there's like a there's layers of JoJo. Like when somebody tells you like, "Hey, there's this thing." No, what am I trying to say? Um Hold on a sec. No, I don't remember what I was trying to say at all. It had something to do with Josuke saying there's a way to
Excellent.
beat him.
Well, there's always a way, unless there isn't, and then Iraqi needs to write in something new.
Yeah. Well, let's think about this. Let's have this as a moment of consideration. Do you know how he says, "I'm gonna kill the body of the stand"? There's a way to do it. I'm not gonna fight the user. I'm going to kill the stand directly. I actually forgot that was a thing you could do. Like a little bit. Like, when's the last time someone just killed somebody by killing their stand?
I don't know about that exactly, and I don't think his plan is to kill the actual user, because if you recall, we've seen similar long distance fights where, like Black Sabbath, where they kill the stand, but the user's fine.
Hmm. Yeah, I get what you're saying with that. But like, well, now I feel like you just brought up a plot hole in part 5. Why doesn't Polpo know that Black Sabbath has been killed? Does he just get a new one?
Because it's a long range automatic stand.
But I mean, wouldn't he be able to tell that he can't deploy it anymore? Or do you get extra lives?
No. Each the way the stand works is it's deployed when the lighter is relit. So if
I see what you're saying. It's not taking
I'm trying to
direct
think. So
instructions from Polpo. So it's not
yeah,
using his health
the
points.
stand is almost a separate entity.
I see you. I get it. I can agree with that. Um. Oh man, so do you remember how Who was it? Wasn't it Mamazuku? Mamazuku who popped one of Josuke's soap bubbles, and then he realized it's actually just like a cord. It's like a little cord of string that spins around really fast to give it the
Yeah,
appearance of a sphere.
It's the spin.
It's the spin. It totally is. It literally is. It definitely is. It 100% is. I mean, like, the spin exists in this world. We haven't seen it in like 100 years, but we know it's here. We know it's around. Has to be.
I bet Araki's gonna like develop Josuke's soft and wet into like some sort of like super string thing that because we know his soap bubbles are just strings.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
And just start fucking with the rules of reality.
I thought Josuke was going to say, like, when he's wagging his finger at Mamazuku, I thought he was going to be like, I have soft and wet. Soft and wet can plunder. This is how we will defeat him. And that still could happen.
That's not where I thought you were going with that. I thought you were going to say, I have soft and wet. Soft and wet, as you know, is OP.
I don't, is that a reference to something? Or is that just a funny thing to say you thought I was going for?
No, I thought what you were going for, is just a thing that I said.
Why did I say that in return? Cut that out.
I don't know.
Also, you said, like the guy from Jurassic Park.
This was an exchange. No, yeah, the was the Jurassic Park reference.
It was a Newman one, yeah.
It's a bunch of cobbled. It's like a Frankenstein reference.
A Frankenstein's
like
monster.
Cobbled together, just cobbled together all these bits of jokes.
Yeah, into one like functional semi joke.
Man, this is a terrible conversation. We should cut this out. No,
yeah, probably.
We should actually leave this in.
It's good radio. It's good radio. Keep it in. Anyway, what did you want to talk about? When I was saying soft and wet can plunder? Because literally, like, anything that Araki...
No, I was... Actually, that was all that I was just gonna say. I thought you were going somewhere different with that. But you go on with what you were saying.
Anything that disappears from the story can be justified as long as Araki brings it back later, you know? At some point. Literally, it could all be justified and worth it and make sense if Josuke was just like, yeah, I've been using the soap bubbles to attack and to grab small objects, but it's been a while since I have used their actual purpose, which is this ability. Like, wouldn't it be cool if Josuke himself knew about plundering? It seems like he forgot. Or otherwise just doesn't have a reason to. But like he hasn't used soft and wet for its original purpose
since before Toru and the head doctor and all these people entered the story.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, wait, does Mamazuku even know that soft and wet can do that?
Nope.
Did he stop using it before he met Mamazuku?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right, excellent. I know how he's going to beat him.
Yeah, because I was just saying, like, in the JoJo part. Sorry, you go ahead. I'll remember what I have to say.
Because Toru and the head doctor and Mamazuku all don't know that he can steal properties.
Mm-hmm. So, in the JoJo part, sometimes you need to power up your main character, you know, in order to have him be able to kill the villain. And this is an interesting thing because you can track like which parts do it and which parts don't. Part 1, Jonathan killed his main bad guy, no power up. Part 2, Joseph killed his main bad guy. Didn't kill his main bad guy, just sent him away from Earth. But he got a power up from Caesar. Part 3, Jotaro. He gets a power up, he gets time stop. Part 4, Josuke is the only JoJo to defeat his main villain without getting a power up. He just stuck with base Crazy Diamond, and he won in his fight against Kira. Like the segment of it that was him, like with the glass
Well,
shards and everything.
it's because he doesn't actually do the heavy lifting in that fight.
No, true. I'm saying the
It was
segment.
Hayato
The
who
segment.
it was Hayato who figured out how to beat the actual problem in that fight.
Oh, the fucking Yoshihiro. Yeah.
Bites the dust.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'm actually thinking of like several phases. There's Bites the Dust, and then once Bites the Dust is deactivated and Kira is fighting them in person, I consider that like the Josuke section. Everything from when he's standing there in the rain and he's like, "What did you just fucking say?" to when he hits him with the second glass bullet and Kira is like limping away, fleeing. That's the Josuke segment of the fight, you know?
I think, and Araki manages that because once you get past Bites the Dust, Kira's stand ability is not really on par with the other main villains in the series.
Oh yeah, absolutely. His main ability is covert murder, but like, what's he gonna do against 5 or 6 like
Covert,
intelligent stand users at once?
Murder. Covert Murder sounds like a good band name.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be the name of my first album. Um, but yeah, so part 6, Jolene doesn't get a power up, or part 5, Giorno does. He gets Gold Experience Requiem. Jolene doesn't get a power up and doesn't beat her villain. Johnny gets a power up and beats his villain.
Part 5 could only have ended with Giorno getting a power up.
Yeah,
because there was like no way.
Araki is a good writer. I like his stories. I like how they're unexpected. They have like twists and turns in them I'm not predicting. All sorts of cool shit happens. But, or actually no, not but. Oh no, yeah, but I was trying to decide whether I wanted to go into an example in the affirmative or the negative. But he does write himself into a corner sometimes, and that absolutely happened with the end of part 5. As we've said before, the only solution to Gold Experience Requiem is, oops, the part's over now. Like, you can have no more fights with that.
It's weird because I feel like King Crimson earlier in the part had more well-defined weaknesses, and as the part progressed, it actually just became a stand that could do whatever it needed to do.
I actually really liked in the Butch...
That's until like such a point came where the only way to beat it was to install a win button.
Exactly. I actually really liked in the Bucciarati fight where he was trying to figure out, like, okay, so he's going to erase time and then attack me, but he has to come out of the erased time in order to throw the blow, you know? So I'm going to try and predict where he will show up and hit him.
Which contradicted earlier on because he cut off Trish's hand
inside of the erased time,
while
yes.
in the erased time.
But that's just Araki, you know, some things are inconsistent. Not everything is perfectly within the lines. There's some shit that, like, you know he wanted to do that moment because it's a great moment. He's standing in the elevator with Trish, he's just thinking to himself, and then he looks over and he's just holding her hand. Like, that's a great moment. But Araki didn't quite, like, fully think through, like, King Crimson's abilities making that possible. But he just decided to do it because he's not going to let the minutia get in the way of a great moment and a great panel. Yeah. Because that's kind of like a famous panel. Bucciarati screaming in the elevator with Trish's hand.
Yeah, I think it was the Trader's Requiem in the OP.
Yeah, they use it for the OP. It's iconic. Man. I really do want... oh, I'm sorry. I fucking shouldn't segue off of that because we're still on the topic of... So my point in saying all of this is I wonder if the main what category part 8 is going to fall into, you know? Main JoJo gets a power up and wins. Main JoJo doesn't need a power up and
Sorry,
wins.
I kind of sorry, I kind of actually missed the like after part 5 where that went.
Oh,
So Jolene didn't get a power up
and
because she
lost.
didn't actually beat the main villain of her part.
Mhm.
But you know who actually did beat the main villain of the part was Emporio, who did get a power up
That's
in the
true.
form of Weather Report's stand disc.
That's extremely true. You could also say that Jolene got a power up in the form of the Mobius strip thing, but that's not necessarily a power up so much as it is like a
That was an
counter
ability she
argument.
already had.
Or yeah, true, but she invents the technique right there. But it's not. It doesn't make her more powerful. It just makes her not able to be instantly killed by this other ability. So it's more of like a counter move. It's an answer to an attack. It's not necessarily like a new ability she got. But anyway, so Jonathan, no. Joseph, yes. Jotaro, yes. Josuke, no. Giorno, yes. Jolene, no. Johnny, yes. Josuke. Josuke is the question mark. But here's what I think. I think he already has an extremely powerful ability that he's just not using, which is plundering. He's just using soft and wet in the way that he has been since since the I Am a Rock fight, when he said, I'm not going to use my soap bubbles to defend anymore, I'm going to use them to attack. He's been using them like that pretty much ever since. Like, he has them explode on contact and do a little bit of like burst damage, or he has them like pick up small objects and move them around, or like put fire inside or something. He doesn't necessarily steal properties anymore.
So,
But what I'm saying is, the power up is built in. He just has to remember that he can do that.
I think there is still potential for him to get a power up, but also in the form of an application of the ability that he already has.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he can steal properties, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people have theorized that the upgraded form of his stand will basically be King Crimson, in that
Man.
it will steal time.
But, like, where is this coming from? My friend Kilo constantly says this to me. He's like, oh, he's gonna get King Crimson. It's gonna be great. And I'm like, why? Why do you think that?
Also, you notice all the Higashikata stands have King in the name.
Yeah, but I feel like that's really flimsy.
Even Mitsuba's stand, even though she married into the family.
Away King, 3 leaves, I know. But I feel like
Josuke was adopted, but he's still part of the family.
Yeah.
He still has the Higashikata name.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know. I feel like it's just people going like, oh, King Crimson. Killer Queen is in the part. Killer Queen is in the part, so maybe we'll get more stands from previous parts showing up. Wow. I really don't think so.
Well, this wasn't actually what I wanted to discuss primarily. What I wanted to discuss was, like, I think it is still possible for him to get a power up, but it really depends on who the main villain of this part is going to be.
True.
Because I think he can beat the head doctor without a power up. I think he can beat Jobin as he is without a power up. But if Kato's stand is involved, and depending on how powerful it might actually end up being, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Who knows what she could have in those cards, man? Like, she has enough spaces that she strikes me like the type of stand user who would have a bunch of stuff on deck. You know, like how she had her phone in the cards in prison and she got it out of there. She has 52 cards.
On deck.
On deck. I didn't even do that on purpose. But, you know, I bet she has a bunch of other just, like, random, useful, and extremely dangerous crap in those cards. And also, like, I wonder if she's going to be able to, like, let's say Josuke sends a bubble at her that's going to explode. Can she just clap the bubble between 2 cards and save it for later? Fire it back at him? Like, How powerful is this stand going to be? That's the big question. But I think that if you're going to give Josuke a power up, you should just have him remember that he can plunder. You know, that's an extremely versatile and powerful ability um, that he could be using.
But it wouldn't really be a power up because he's been doing it since the beginning. He just stopped at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more actually. That's actually more like how Gold Experience, the creatures that were created by
Yeah.
Gold Experience used to reflect image.
Yeah. Or they did for like a couple chapters. They did it to Liki Iluka and to Koichi, and that's it.
No, and to Bucciarati, because he got the person he was hiding inside of to slap the fly, and that transferred the damage to him, causing Bucciarati to have to leave the body.
Hmm. Indeed. I actually totally forgot about that. Good reminder. But yeah, I concur completely. The way Soft and Wet has had its arc of like what it does is a lot like Gold Experience, where it's introduced as being able to do one thing, and then Araki, like over time, sort of he finds something else that stand can realistically do that's actually better for like consistent fights, and he just finds it easier to write. He doesn't necessarily stick to the base ability that was introduced at the beginning. He justifies like, oh yeah, the stand can also do this, so he's mostly going to do this now.
And I mean, if you want to be, if you want to go back to like the origin of this, you look at Star Platinum and how it used to be able to do Star Finger, and Jotaro just doesn't use that ever again.
Mm-hmm.
You
But is
know, and
Starfinger?
that's actually kind of like almost the reverse, where like it just invents a new ability, uses it in one fight, and never again.
Hmm. I feel like Starfinger isn't that useful though. Like he can extend his finger like what, a meter? How is that ever going to be more helpful than just moving Star Platinum over to him and punching him? Like Star Platinum's range
I
is
mean,
2 meters.
Kira was like a meter away when he had to stop time, but then he could just stop time.
Yeah. I mean, he only did it because he was underwater and he couldn't move around so easy. I don't know. I don't think Starfinger is that based. People always say like, "Oh, you should have used it against Poochie." It's like, no, dude, you misread. Jotaro wasn't unable to kill him because he was too far away. Jotaro could have killed him, but he decided to save Jolene instead. Was it the wrong decision? Maybe. But, it's the one he made. Anyways, I wonder if Josuke is going to get a power up, and I kind of hope it's the same power up that he's always had. But, like, damn. Jobin versus Josuke is going to be lit. It's going to be an incredible fight. I'm ready for it. It'll probably be like another 6 months, but
And if the fruit is used to heal him, then he'll also be rocked up. So we're
Oh
gonna
my
have two Rocky boys
god.
going at it.
That's gonna be awesome. I didn't even think of that. That's pretty cool. Oh hey, so the head doctor being unable to step out of this wall where he's talking to Josuke and Mamazuku. What do you think about that? Because everywhere that we see him like go into has some sort of reflection or shadow. Like think about this. The when you see him walk into the wall, there's like black lines on the floor to indicate like heavy
I
shadow
just
from
like
the
the
wall.
I just like the panel of like the head doctor sitting in the wall in the form of the stand, doing a think like
Yeah, let me go to that one.
it's adorable. Just
Oh
just
yeah, where
sitting
he's
inside the wall.
and the bubbles are all around him. So here's what I think. Go to the page where he says, "You made it, Mamazuku. You're here. My ally Yasuo is out there too." and we have a head doctor man coming in. You can see behind him there's like shadow on that wall. That wall's casting a shadow on the ground. You go to the next page, and the head doctor tries to enter the room with Josuke and Mamazuku, and you can see that the floor is completely white. The only shadow being cast is the one from him, and it's just a little bit onto the wall. So he goes to go to the next page now. He goes to put his foot down somewhere, and it's completely blank. It's completely light. And he goes and he looks up at the ceiling, and he looks at Josuke and Mamazuku. And we have some Joshu stuff. And then he takes his foot up off of the ground and just sits on the wall.
You talking about like page 19? It looks like. Where he's putting his foot, where he's about to touch the floor with his foot, because there's a shadow on the floor. If that's what you're talking about.
Where? Page 19?
Well, it's page 19 in Manga Dex, but I don't know what it is on yours.
Well, tell me what kind of page it is. Like, what's on the page that I should be looking for? The head doctor...
So, like, the first panel is the head doctor about to touch his foot to the floor.
It's just like the waist down? Like, it starts with the suns?
And one of the the second to last panel is him looking up.
Yeah. So there is a shadow on the floor there, but it's cast by his own foot. And if you look over by Josuke and Mamazuku, hold on, let me find the right page to demonstrate this.
So if this has something to do with the shadows, and it's not actually just like something weird going on with the art, then you might be completely on the ball about this being Silver Chariot Requiem.
Yeah, possibly. I didn't even think about it that way, actually. Fucking, give me 1 sec. Let me, I gotta go to the...
But the panel where he's sitting inside the wall, his shadow doesn't extend onto the floor.
Yeah, exactly. 1 sec here. Are my pages misaligned? No, that's right. Okay, so check this out. So this is on the same page, the other side. Look at the long shot of the head doctor looking at Josuke and Mamazuku. He sees there's a lot of bubbles in his way, but he also sees like all of the shadows in the room are over there on that side. All of the broken shit, all of the everything, like they are over in like the shady side of the room. His side is being hit by like pure fluorescent light. So I don't know like how much this has to do with where the head doctor is allowed to move or not move. But I do feel that there is something going on there.
Maybe.
Same with Black Sabbath?
Shades of Black Sabbath, maybe?
Potentially.
Well, I said Shades of Black Sabbath.
Shades of Black Sabbath.
Which is also an unintentional pun.
Yeah.
Also.
There's so many shades of Black Sabbath. Yeah. So I don't know exactly where I'm going with this, but I know it's important because Araki did a deliberate thing in drawing the floor like white, like pure, complete fucking just blank. And he made sure to render the shadows around Josuke and Mamazuku and the rest of the broken room. So I might actually have to go back through the other chapters and see, like, is the head doctor only ever moving in shadows? But it would be interesting.
When he puts the bugs in the floor, he doesn't actually put them in the floor. He puts them in the wall, and they crawl down to the floor, if you notice.
Really? I'm going to look at that. Yeah, yes, he does.
If you look at page, you can see the bulge in the wall.
Yeah.
From where the bugs are.
Yeah. And also, he clearly didn't bend down to go put them on the ground. He just tapped him against the flat surface next to him. Let's take a bet. Do you think that those little bug arms coming out of the thing are one bug moving really fast? Or do you think it's one creature with many arms?
Uh, what am I? Which panel am I looking at for this?
Any panel with the little do 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 da 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 guy, the bug, the rock insect. I believe
I think it refers to it as a singular creature.
yeah,
Like
it's a
every
living
time it's referred
creature.
to.
Oh yeah, what was that move? And was there only one of them? It's melded with the floor again. Yeah, that's what.
Correct. Well done. Realizing it's a living creature. It's a living creature, especially without having touched it to make sure. Though you're going to be touching it very soon.
Indeed.
It's it's there. It's flattened and melded with the floor, and it's coming towards us.
Yeah, so I guess it is one, but do you think it's one small creature moving around
Well,
very quickly, or a big
here's the
creature with
thing.
several
Here's the
arms?
thing. I'm not sure. Here's the thing. I'm not sure if it's a singular creature, because um, don't quote me on this because I'm not a language expert and I don't really speak Japanese, but I don't think they have really plurals in the same way that we do in English.
Hmm.
Um, so it's possible that it's just the translator interpreting it as one creature, but
Oh, but Mamazuku directly
I
says,
don't know.
"Was there only one of them?"
Yes, was there only one of them? That's let me
I think if he
let me
if
see
he wanted to
what.
give you the impression that there were more than one, he probably would have said, "Were there? How many of them are there?" Or like, "Was that just one?" Or, his statement is leading in the direction of "there's only one" instead of leading in the direction of "we're wrong and there's more." Sometimes Araki does that, like he sort of like cuts to the chase with characters knowing things. Like when somebody all of a sudden explains the enemy stand ability really well, and it's like, how do you fucking know that? Like Mitsuba when she got attacked by the head doctor. I mean, I guess it makes sense. She had time to learn that shit, but like she just started developing an explanation really fast, instantly. And yeah, he does that sometimes. JoJo characters will like just hazard a guess and be right. Yeah. But I love this stuff right at the end of the chapter where he says, "You've been trying to bring us out in the open like that the whole time. The disasters have been attacks to get us out in the open. If that's your aim, then where's the fruit? If you already have the new Rokakaka, that should be
Okay,
enough, right?"
so
That's awesome.
so on this page, she says first you will have to deal with this lone rock insect,
Oh, with this
and I'm
lone
not
rock
sure.
insect. Fucking hell. I can't, like,
I
that's
would
a.
have to I would have to see the raws to confirm whether that's whether that's accurate to what's being said. But again,
Mm-hmm.
don't quote me on that because I don't actually I'm not a Japanese expert.
Indeed. Um,
Although it is seeming to imply that there is only one.
yeah. And I think that even if Japanese is a difficult language to translate from, I think I trust the translators. Because they made a mistake recently where they said they had Josuke say, "I can be made to pursue him," when really he meant, "I can make him pursue me." Because it was an unusual grammatical structure that the translator dude was not super familiar with. But, every time you translate something wrong and then figure it out, you are learning. So they get more powerful constantly. So I trust them. I think they're doing good translations. I like reading the Hiwa Mata Noboru scans. But yeah, I like how they're giving the head doctor mad shit at the end because he's bluffing. He's playing a hand he doesn't have. Pretty cool. But yeah, do you have any other thoughts on the chapter at large?
Not on the chapter at large, unless you have something else more specific to discuss.
Well, for me, the high points of this chapter were like Mamazuku and Josuke met up. That's awesome. They have this badass like Mexican standoff moment against the head doctor. Um, and Joshu finally is going to heal Yasuo. That's awesome. Those were the high points for me. Um, fucking damn it! I had something else I was going to say and I lost it. Hold on. Low point, definitely main villain taking a minion out of his ass for the Kiros to waste a couple chapters on. I'm not extremely excited about that.
We don't know.
What'd you say?
We don't know if he's the main. We don't know if he's the main villain yet.
True. The big bad guy of this
And
arc that we've been working on for
he's
like 2 years.
he's pretty much confirmed not to be the main villain now. At least the head doctor is not. If our predictions about the mind control monocle are correct.
Hmm. Well, I don't even necessarily know if it's the mind control monocle. It's possible that he's not being controlled. He willingly assumes the being the head doctor. Do you think the head doctor is
We'd have to go back to we'd have to go back to the interview with the guy whose neck he snapped
Mm-hmm.
and confirm is he wearing the monocle in that shot?
I think he is actually. He is wearing a monocle for the duration of that whole thing. So clearly he can be a normal person that you can touch and interact with the monocle on. So the monocle doesn't indicate standness. But I feel like there must be something to it, you know? You wouldn't draw him with the monocle and then without for no reason. Maybe he would.
I mean, he does change character designs frequently.
Yeah, that's true, but like the one time that we see the head doctor interacting with the world and like the public at large, he's not wearing it. And I feel like that must mean something. Who knows?
Isn't he also not that one?
What'd you say?
Isn't he also not wearing his hat at that conference?
That's true, yes. No hat, no monocle.
Although we have seen him with the hat before, I think. Before that conference. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely... So that's not a design change. That's an intentional choice to have him without the hat and without the monocle for that part.
Right, and I'm just wondering what the intention was, you know? What does that mean?
I don't think we've seen his... No, we did see his face before.
The photo,
before
Toru,
that conference.
Mitsuba.
The photo, yeah. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't wear the monocle in that.
Yeah, no. Does he wear the hat? I think he's bareheaded.
I think where's the hat in that photo?
I will find out.
I would have to see the photo again.
It's okay. I know what chapter it is. It's the one where Josuke goes to jail. Oh no, he's wearing that fucking monocle and the hat. Wow. We were wrong. Shit. Hold on. I'm finding the page. Jojolion 90. Here you go. No, we just saw so much of his face and his hair and the weird little spikes on his face.
He is wearing the monocle.
Yeah, we just saw so much of his face for the first time. We remembered it as being impactful, but no, he's still wearing the monocle.
But wait, is that the photo that he showed Toru? Or that Toru showed Yasuo?
Yeah, Yasuo and Toru right there at the bottom of the page.
Okay. Alright. So, I don't know what to think now.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I will still be putting my money on there's some sort of intentionality behind monocle versus no monocle. I wonder if the monocle allows him to transfer his consciousness between different head doctor bodies. I wonder if there are even any different head doctor bodies, or if we've just been seeing the same stand body move around the whole time. Also, I would like to point out... Sorry, go ahead.
Is this why we keep hearing them reference the fact that he's 89?
Yeah, because there's no way an 89-year-old man could move like that because he's a stand. Shit, what was I gonna say?
I'm sorry. I derailed your train of thought.
No, it's okay. Damn. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm thinking... What was I gonna say? It was about the head doctor or something. Monocle versus no monocle. Head doctor body. Oh, I remember! Okay, so, I would like to point out that the stand The stand with the long face, the robotic looking one that the head doctor transforms into. He could literally be that stand, or he could be wearing that stand like an armor and using its abilities. He could be a real person that is using stand powers, or he could literally just be a stand. But there has to be some sort of physicality to him. There has to be some method by which he can interact with normal people, because we see him do that. But anyways, what I was going to bring up was the stand by itself that doesn't look like the head doctor. The only times we've seen it fully be its own form, use its own design, is in shadowy places. In the darkened stairwell, you remember it showed up behind fucking everybody and it just looked real spooky up there on the ceiling. Darkened stairwell and in the shade of a tree inside of the Lamborghini. I made a rhyme. But yeah, he's only ever showed up in the shadows as well.
And his face is in shadow in this photo. I wonder if that's also significant.
I don't know, but I do want to go through fucking the head doctor's many appearances and see.
This is now the head doctor episode, by the way, viewers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're getting real deep into this arc. All right. So, oh shit, I went too far. So the head doctor wearing the monocle versus not probably means something we don't know yet. That's concluded. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to talk about this chapter, but I do have a little segment that we could move into if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay, so I thought it would be fun to make a list, a comprehensive list of all of the shoes in Jojolion that are yet to drop. You know what I mean? The phrase, the other shoe just dropped.
Sorry, you cut out. Did you mean Jojolion specifically or Jojo?
Jojolion.
In general.
Jojolion specifically.
Hello?
Hello? Can you not hear me anymore? Chris?
No. You cut out for a few minutes, but you're back.
Okay. So, Jojolion specifically.
You cut out right at JoJo, so like right after you said JoJo. So I wasn't sure if you meant Jojolion specifically or JoJo in general.
Jojolion specifically is what I'm interested in at this time because I think Jojolion still has a bunch of things up in the air. It has a bunch of balls that haven't yet fallen after being tossed into the air. And I think it would be cool to make a little list of them, to have a little comprehensive list in our back pockets so we can go through when a new chapter comes out. Yup, check. Joshua becomes a good guy. Joshua redemption. So I think number one on the list is Flashback Man. That's a shoe that has yet to drop. That has yet to resolve itself. Example of a shoe that has already dropped and resolved itself, or at least it's in the process of dropping, is Tsurugi's illness. This is a shoe that they threw up into the air on the very first page of the part where it says, this is a story about breaking a curse. And the shoe is still up there. And it's not going to come down until the part is over, really. But we're watching it come down right now.
You want to talk about shoes that have already dropped. Josuke's identity.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one. That's an enormous one. In fact, that was like the main shoe of the story for a while. It was way up there. So yeah, like Josuke's identity is a solved shoe. That's already happened. We've already gotten that information. So there's...
How about shoes that never went anywhere, like Kira's photo album?
Yeah. Although I don't know. I mean, there is an explanation for that, but it's extremely weird. Do you remember how it's literally stated that Ojiro just dressed up like Kira and took those photos, like wearing Kira's clothing? Like, that's not actually what Kira does? that's really
Yeah.
terrible and stupid though, because like this trap was designed for Kira to come home to. So what's the benefit of like making him look bad? He's gonna open up the photo album and be like, "Oh my god, I've been
Huh.
doing these things."
He comes home, he opens the photo album, he's like, huh, that's weird. I'm under attack now.
He comes home, he opens the photo album, he's like, "This is really hot. Who did this? Who made this? I'm way into this. Who knows all my fetishes?"
I made this. Was it a man of the sea or a man of the land?
Oh boy, it was neither. But yeah, and like, what's the naked woman in his bathroom? He's just gonna come home and be like, "Why are you in my house?" It's not even going to be like confusing and terrifying. It's just gonna be confusing. I don't know, like
He's
that.
gonna be like, hey, how you doing?
She's gonna be like, "I've already looked in the photo album. Don't talk to me. I know who you are. You're evil." And he's like, "What photo album?" Yeah, that whole thing only makes sense if Josuke comes home to it. It doesn't really work for a trap for Kira.
So somehow Ojiro's somebody was going to be mistaken for Kira, but also he set a trap for Kira specifically. Who is the trap for?
Who is the trap for?
I'm so confused.
Yeah, exactly. So, what did you say was your shoe that
That
never went
shoe-
anywhere?
That shoe started dropping, but then just hovered like 3 feet off the ground and just didn't go anywhere.
So the Kira photo album. But I feel like the story is done with that. The story has explained that. They're not going to go back to it. So I feel like that's already dropped. But it dropped like in a weird way, an unsatisfying way that doesn't totally make sense.
That's what I said. That's what I said. It
Oh,
did
yeah.
drop, but it dropped to 3 feet above the ground and then just stayed there.
Just froze there. Yeah, that actually is a really good analogy. It didn't. It's unable to drop completely because the construction of the entire thing is just kind of shoddy. It dropped, but it didn't what?
It dropped, but it dropped, but it didn't hit.
Yeah, true. You know something else in that category, in that exact category. The whole shit with Kira has the fruit seller's mark on his wrist. And there's the going upstairs to the Higashikata study. There's the fruit seller's mark on the handrail. Why does Kira have the emblem from the fruit sellers that's inside the Higashikata house on his wrist when he's found dead? And this also ties into why does Norisuke say that he knew Kira and that they were working on like a way to break the curse and heal the sickness if we never see that in the flashback? So that's a shoe right there.
Another shoe that we don't know about yet is what the hell is actually the deal with the walleyes and the bite marks?
Yeah, bite marks. Bite marks are a big one. So I'm going to do number 1, flashback man. Number 2, bite marks. Number 3, dead Kira fruit seller's mark. Number 4, or no, you know what? Number 3, I'm going to put Norisuke knows Kira, parentheses, dead Kira fruit seller's mark. Because I feel like those are part of the same thing. Because we never see Kira go over to their house for any reason. If we did, at least we could have been like, oh, he just touched it.
I don't think we're going to get an answer.
Yeah, but I think we are, actually. I think we're going to get more flashback. I think there was room in the flashback for a little bit more flashback content that was skipped over because it wasn't relevant to the Tamodamaki stuff, but it is relevant to the overall story. Like, there has to be some time where they took that photo with Herrera, you know? Otherwise, what the fuck?
Okay, what else?
So we've got Flashback Man, Bite Marks, and Norisuke knows Kira. So we've got those 3 things. Another giant shoe, Kato in general. What role is she even going to play in the story? That's way up in the air.
I would bundle that one with who's the main villain.
Right. I'm gonna put Kato
Because
parentheses main villain candidate.
because it's possible we have a lot of we have a lot of main villain candidates, and by a
Yeah.
lot I mean a few.
We have like 3 or 4.
I don't think Toru's going to be the main villain because he's the villain we're dealing with right now.
Mm-hmm.
So technically we have like 2 main villain candidates. If
Yeah.
it's going to be anybody who's already in the story. And I honestly don't think it would be somebody from outside the story at this point. I think it's too late to bring in somebody new to be the main villain.
I actually think that would be a really bad idea if you did that. That would be pretty terrible. People were saying that with the head doctor. Like, what? Are you fucking serious? You're 83 chapters in and you're going to introduce the big bad now? And it's like, well, he's not even. He's just Silver Chariot Requiem, bro. He's just here to slow you down and prevent you from reaching the finale. Anyways, Flashback Man, bite marks, Norisuke knows Kira, Kato. Now, I'm going to put in a new section called Red Herrings, which is shoes that we don't think will ever drop because they seem more like mistakes than like a setup to be paid off. I'm going to put in entry number 1 as
The Kyo Nijimura.
Kyo Nijimura.
The photo with Kyo Nijimura versus without later, when they updated it to not have her.
But that still could... that's debatably a red herring or not. I think that's going to be important. I think that's real. But we don't know yet. I will put the photo with Kyo Nijimura in red herrings. Number 2, Yotsuyu Yagiyama claims to have killed Josuke before. Because that's just utter nonsense. That's just a red herring, like straight up. It's just a clue that's not true to hold you back.
Tsurugi's condition before the harvest.
Wait, why is that a red herring? Or is that a shoe yet to drop?
That's either a shoe yet to drop or it's a red herring. Because she's an origami, or he's an origami now.
Well, not now. Now, she's a fucking little cracked, bleeding, doll thing.
Well, whatever. Either way, he's not healthy and walking around and dragging his grandpa's body everywhere.
That's true. So I'm gonna put that in shoes yet to drop. Potential red herring based on if it actually comes to pass. Tsurugi cured before harvest? Question mark. Tsurugi cured before harvest? Yeah. So another shoe yet to drop on the topic of that same thing. Daya potentially erasing everyone's memories or not. You remember when we talked about that and we saw the California King Bed cheese pieces?
Yeah, everyone acting normal during that flash forward.
Yeah. In that flash forward, I don't remember if I talked about this. I probably did. I'm probably just going to be repeating myself. But the text, the narration that is happening during that flash forward says something like, stand abilities are a reflection of one's heart, and if someone has a change in heart, like a serious event happens to them that changes the way they think and feel, then their stand can experience a change as well. So I originally thought that was referring to Jobin, because he's the only member of the family that we have been told has secret abilities. You know, because he says, or the thing says, he has some abilities of Speed King that he keeps secret even from his own family. So I thought that meant Jobin at the time, that he was going to experience a change of heart and get a stand change or a new ability. But I think that's Daya. I think that's definitely in reference to Daya now.
I have another shoe for you.
Okay.
The true nature of Soft and Wet's ability.
True.
Because it's mentioned that the bubbles are actually strings that spin.
Yeah. And he
but
wouldn't...
It isn't elaborated on any more than that.
Well, he just elaborated on it 1% more in this latest chapter because he said they're supple and moist and they spin. So at least we get the new information that they spin. We didn't know that before. But yeah, you're right. He's doling out the
Speed.
information very piecemeal, very just like little bit at a time. The true nature of the soap bubbles.
They spin.
Oh, they spin. All right. So what else do we have for shoes yet to drop? What do we got? Um, I guess we've got basic ones like the fate of Holly and who gets the fruits. You know. Yeah, I'll put that down. I just put down the fate of Holly because it's up in the air. But then wouldn't you put down like the fate of all the characters? What are some other red herrings from JoJo Part 8? Stuff that got said that just didn't matter. It was just to throw you off.
Oh, I was thinking about another. I was thinking about another shoe that's yet to
Oh,
drop.
dude, well then give me that shoe.
What's going on? What's going on with fish sausages, man? Why are
What's
they shrinking?
the mysterious case of the what should we call it? Of the
Sausages?
no, of the missing fish sausage mass. I don't know. The mysterious case of the shrinking sausages. Yes, that's what it is. That's a good one. That's true. We do need to find out what happened to that desperately. I'm trying to think. What else do we got? I feel like this list was much bigger even just like a few months ago.
I feel like there's a shoe that already dropped in the form of Shakedown Road and the Holy Corpse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because that whole thing... Well, hold on.
The curse is explained by was the rock disease predated the Holy Corpse being buried there?
Yes. Because it has been in the family for, like, generations. And, like, way back in the day, parents had to sacrifice themselves at the Walleyes. This was before Johnny brought the corpse from America. So the Walleyes has always had some sort of equivalent exchange property.
No. The walleyes. The walleyes were caused by the earthquake.
I'm sorry, the land that would become the Walleyes. My mistake. You know, the area of the Twin Pine and the Lone Pine, the Meditation Pine. That's the place where Johnny fucking went with the corpse. But even before that, people were going there and trading the disease around. Um, what did you bring this up for? The
I feel like okay, so it's the nature of the equivalent exchange properties slash stands slash I guess Shakedown Road in a way because of the Holy Corpse being brought to Japan.
yeah, that's true. Um, but I don't know if that's like a thing they tossed up in the air to be paid off later. I mean, they told us right after Shakedown Road it's because of the legend of Johnny Joestar.
I guess so.
Although
Um,
I
Although
do,
it does actually shine some light on the walleyes and potentially the bite marks. I don't know. They are human bite marks.
yeah, the bite marks are a big deal. I put those very close to the top. Although you know what, we could really condense this because Norisuke knows Kira and well, no, I don't know. Yeah, Norisuke knows Kira, and Yotsuyu Yagiyama claims to have killed Josuke before, and Flashback Man could all theoretically be solved by the same type of content, you know? Just another flashback segment of a couple chapters. So maybe we should shrink them to just like
It feels
things
like
that happened before that haven't been
it
explained.
feels like we're it feels like we're sitting in a room staring at a billboard with a bunch of pins and strings in it.
Yeah.
And at the center of all this
There's a man with four
is
nuts.
yeah,
The
the
center
man
of
with
it
four
all.
balls. Just written in the center is the man with four balls.
The man in the pickle suit. Man, oh man. So yeah, I think. Are there any more shoes yet to drop in Jojolion? Like, what are things that we are waiting on getting the explanation for, or things that we're waiting on happening?
I guess where the fuck is Kyo?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna do the photo with Kyo Nijimura. I'm gonna put one right under it. Kyo Nijimura in general. I'm putting her in red herrings because we don't know if she's truly important or not. But I really want her to be.
I mean, she was pretty important. She had to establish part of Josuke's identity.
Yeah, but it was literally like she has as much presence in the story uh, as your average enemy stand user. Like she just came and went. Doesn't feel like part of the main cast at all.
Except she keeps showing back up in the background.
Well, fucking two times ever. She got melted by vitamin C, and then she was lying on the floor during Poor Tom. That's like it, dude. That's the only other times we've seen her. Only when the house is under
One would
attack
think that
and she's collateral damage.
one would think though that a character that's like actually related to
Yeah.
arguably one of the main characters
Yup.
in the story would be treated with a greater level of importance.
Yeah. I also thought this. She's literally Kira's sister. Like Holly's her mother too. Why isn't she like working hard to get the fruit and on the team and doing stuff? Why? Is it because Araki gave her a motorcycle stand and he didn't think about how to use that as a protagonist instead of an antagonist? I don't fucking know.
It is pretty, not gonna lie.
It's pretty what?
It is pretty highly situational, not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
Although
really.
he, although he did, although he was able to make that work with protagonist stands in the past. Remember when you had to actually see Rohan's manuscript for him to use his stand on you?
Yeah, I do remember that. I love how Josuke, when you insult his hair, gets so angry he doesn't know how to read. And that's why that attack doesn't work on him. His fucking eyes just go red. He's lost all intelligence. So, if it were last month, I would say shoes yet to drop who's gonna heal Yasuo. But now we know. It's Joshu.
The other thing that leads me to believe that Kyo should be more important in the story really is you have the main three from part 4. You got Josuke Higashikata, you got Koichi Hirose, and you've got Okuyasu Nichimura.
Right.
And in part 8, you've got Josuke Higashikata, Yasuho Hirose, and Kyo Nijimura.
Except you don't. You have Rai Mamazuku.
Except you don't.
Yeah. I mean, literally though, she's not even a real Nijimura. She's Akira. She just took the name.
Yeah, but Kira's dead in the story, so you know how it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Or no, Yoshikage is dead in the story. She's the Kira is his last name.
Well, whatever.
All right. Do we have any more things for the list?
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah, me neither. Like these really are my big questions about Jojolion.
I got an idea.
What?
If any of the viewers at home can think of something to put on the list that we haven't already put on the list, and you have the list up so that they can see it,
Yeah, I've had it up.
you know, mysteries, unsolved mysteries of Jojolion, or solved mysteries. If you have some that were
If you are,
a big
if
deal
you
for a significant period of time.
listen, standing offer to all of our viewers of the podcast: if you are a time traveler, please tell me how Jojolion goes. Standing offer: if you happen to have any sort of prescience or foreknowledge or future sight, definitely share that with us in the comments down below. Don't just tell us everything that happens, but let us know like how it goes. And yeah.
Well, actually, that's not where I was going with this. I was going with, if you have any burning questions that you've had about the story of Jojolion that haven't been answered yet, or that have been answered recently, drop a comment with those, and we will add them to the list in a future episode.
Yeah. The list is, as of yet, incomplete. I feel like there are more things that belong on it, but we just can't think of everything off the top of our heads. But really, these are the things that I want resolution for in Jojolion. I want Kyo Nijimura to be important. I want all that shit that is, like, not congruent with the flashback. I want just a little more flashback content to bring all that in line. Because wouldn't that be just beautiful? Wouldn't that be masterful? Like, he just does another little flashback chapter, and it just, like, everything is just adjusted slightly. Like, oh, right before they went to do this, they went to see Norisuke. Like, just a little bit of insert that, like, maybe gives us some crucial information that it makes sense to keep from the audience until right then. I feel like we could get a little bit more flashback content. So for me, I want Kyo Nijimura resolved. I want all that weird flashback stuff resolved. I want Flashback Man. I want Norisuke to know Kira. Yeah. Everything else, I think the story...
We gotta figure out what the hell is up with those fish sausages, man.
Yeah. With the exception of the fish sausages, everything else I think the story is going to give us, just naturally, as we move along. Like, Kato being the main villain or not, Tsurugi being cured, Daya maybe erasing memories, the fate of Holly...
What do you mean with the exception of the fish sausages? No, man, the fish sausages are the linchpin of this entire story.
We're actually going to find out that the human bite marks aren't human, but piranha. They're from carnivorous fish. And Joshu, in order to... no, this is how the part ends. Joshu defeats Toru and Kato. Josuke dies. He marries Yasuo. Yasuo and Josuke and Joshu take over the Higashikata fruit parlor together, but they turn it into the Higashikata fishery and fish sausage factory. And they go around hunting.
The guy at the fish market. The guy at the fish market who's selling the sausages. He's the main villain.
And the dude. Okay, so you know how Jojolion has like a first act, which is Josuke trying to find out about himself, and then it has a second act where he knows who he is and he's trying to like save Holly and kill the doctors and stuff. There should be a third act where Josuke dies and the rest of the story is just like a dry business management story with Joshu and Yasuo trying to run a successful fish sausage operation. And that's like 60 more chapters.
I can't understate. I was a fan of this bit, but now I am no longer a fan of this bit. This sounds absolutely trash.
No, you don't understand. That's the whole story's been building up to. He buys his own fish sausage.
This sounds garbage.
No.
If that happens, I will quit.
No, you don't understand.
Jojolion, I will quit the podcast.
Oh, God.
I will quit life.
No, you can't. Listen, the whole story is about being a struggling small business owner. That's what the whole thing with Norisuke and the fruit parlor's about. His whole argument with Jobin about, like, we have to get new products in, Dad, and start using more modern techniques. And Norisuke's like, no, we must stay in our ways. We are a traditional business. This is all set up for Joshu to try and run the family business. It's all set up. You can see it. It's all there. The bite marks were so
If
that
you guys have any comments or questions, leave them below. We'll get to those.
the bite marks were so that they could find out about the delicious carnivorous fish, and it's delicious because it eats other meat, not just like plankton and shit. So they find out about the delicious carnivorous fish by getting bitten. They go back, they cook it up into fish sausages, and they run a successful fish sausage stand. That is how Jojolion will end. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.